What's happening? Everybody good? Jesus. Liven up a little bit.
Hey, Corey. Wanted to ask about A.J. Allen. What about his play has been so key as a Canadian as well, and the kind of versatility and flexibility it gave your lineup?
Yeah, I think the first thing, you got to give the kid credit, right? Like, I think he's getting a lot more publicity now that he's playing defense, but we're talking about a guy who was dominant for a few years on special teams, carved a really good role for himself, and ultimately gave us the belief that, if it did come down to it, he could help us defensively. And he was thrusted into that early in the season, and he's taken off. He's getting better and better. Still, I don't think he's scratched the surface, and that's a good thing. But he's extremely intelligent. He's got a knack for the football. He's able to read what's happening. Fits himself well in zones. He's got good hands. He's got an eye for the football and knocking it out and punching it out. And he's tough to deal with as a pass rusher as well. So, and a backup, kid coming out of college, he had a lot of reps at defensive end, which is awesome. So, incredible first season for him as a true starter. He's only going to get better.
On that note, he got some recognition as the team's most outstanding Canadian, and maybe in another year or another lifetime where Nathan Rourke's not in the league, maybe he gets some national recognition. Would you like to see that more? Hey, he has a chance maybe one day to be a most outstanding Canadian, most outstanding defensive player even in this league?
Yeah, I think there's you could say that about a lot of people. Ultimately, you got to perform. It's something that people vote on, obviously. So you got to catch people's eyes. But he's had a hell of a season, and I wouldn't be shocked if one day we're talking about him as a defensive player of the year or whatnot, or most outstanding Canadian. He's got the talent to do so. So this is what he looks like current day, and like anything else, we expect it to keep getting better. So it's good for him.
Hey, Corey. I know you love the camaraderie the team has brought this year, but I was wondering, as a coach, someone who's seen each personal journey from each player throughout this season, how does it feel for you now to kind of look back on all of that and see the hardships each player's gone through to get to this moment?
Yeah, I'll try to keep it as brief as possible, because if I really dig in deep, man, it's an emotional thing, right? You develop so many relationships with people in the building. There's a lot of people in the building. But to look at some of the journeys that some of these guys have gone through, obviously the easiest ones to think about are guys coming back from injury and being able to play. But there's so much more that goes on with each individual. Yeah, man, I'm incredibly proud of the whole damn team, obviously. But there's certainly a handful of guys who've gone through a tremendous amount of stuff that it doesn't pertain to football. That's allowed us to get to this point, and seeing them push through and shine and be surrounded by their loved ones within the facility, man. It's incredible to share this moment with these guys.
Coach, over here, what does it mean to you as a Canadian to be coaching in the Grey Cup game?
It's cool, I guess. Proud Canadian guy, but ultimately, I'm just more proud to represent this team and to do it with this group, man. So, I don't wake up, check my passport every morning, but when you look back at it, the fact that being a Canadian, representing the country and in our biggest game in this sport, that's something that one day I'll say, man, that was pretty sweet.
What did you think of your team's practice today, as you have one more really big practice before the game?
Yeah, in full transparency, I thought our offense was cooking early. I thought our defense was a little slow to go. Then they picked it up at the end of practice, and it was awesome. But that's what the practice week looks like. And as coaches, you just want always perfect. Doesn't exist. But when we get to the tape and even just the guys' wherewithal, everything, we've had tons of weeks where we're always looking to get better at stuff, man, and that's what this group is built on. So overall, really good practice, but just not perfect. But haven't seen one of those yet.
Just a couple other notes on practice. We saw Keyshawn Johnson start practice yesterday, leave halfway through. He wasn't at practice today. What's his status right now?
Yeah, he was out there. He wasn't out there ripping around. So attacking treatment, to give us our best chance. We'll see what that looks like for us. Hopefully, it is something that we can turn to. But he's going to need just a little bit more treatment for him to get out there and do what he wants to do at the speed he wants to do it. But like we said all year with this receiving core, if it doesn't come down to that, tons of guys we got faith in, man. So, but you can't ignore obviously what Keyshawn can bring for our team.
And then just another note. Yesterday, we didn't see Joe Robustelli, but he was out there today. How do you think he's looked progressing from getting nicked up in the West Final?
Yeah, awesome to see him out there. That's a kid. He got so much juice, man. He can do it all, that kid. So excellent to see him out there.
Corey, is a week like this really a testament to the depth we've seen all year? We go through how many different lineups you guys have had to do, and hey, maybe another one this week, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what it is, right? That's football, a physical sport, and as every week goes on, it's another opportunity for teams to get out there, and you hope you get away coming out healthy, and sometimes that doesn't happen for us. This year and speaking of last year a little bit, obviously our depth has been tested, but now I think we're at the point where there's some depth pieces. It's like shit, man, I wish we could get this guy on. You know what I mean? So we're sitting in a really good spot.
And I know this is a business trip for you guys, but you tell them to enjoy the moment a little bit because you never know when you get back to this game.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's really hard to get to this week, and obviously for guys who've experienced it before, they kind of know what to expect. But just to embrace it all, you know what I mean? I mean, you guys know, sitting at a podium, we kind of get that all the time, but, you guys are talking to Hughes up here. That's awesome, right? Like, enjoy that, if you have family, spend time with family, if you can check out some things, but just don't lose focus of why we're here, but enjoy it. But just stick to what got us here, but take it all in, man. It's not easy to get here, so they've earned the right. Just stay locked in, though, when we know what we're focused on.
Corey, what has Andrew Harris brought to this team?
Man, a ton. Look, we're talking about, one of the greatest players in our league, one of the greatest Canadians ever to play in our league, a wealth of knowledge at the position and beyond. Looking back at him as a player, it wasn't always just like, hey, Andrew Harris, the running back, he's gonna score touchdowns. It was like, man, we don't know where this guy's lining up at. You know what I'm saying? He can catch the ball at the backfield. He's one of the best protection running backs, damn near in league history. Those are all intricate parts of what we value on our offense. Him obviously having a little bit of understanding of the system, being his playing days towards the back end there in Toronto. I thought it was an easy transition, and then the relationships that he had, with some coaches on staff, and obviously AJ being teammates. Man, it's been everything and more that I thought it was going to be. He's a hell of a coach, and it's going to be a bright future for him in the coaching business.
Coach, did Joe Robustelli have to go through and pass concussion protocol to get back on the field?
Yeah, he went through all the testing and all that stuff, but he's out there. He's good to go.
Brett Lawther didn't look like he finished practice today. He wasn't available to the media after. What's his status for the Grey Cup game?
Yeah, status and be out there swinging, just like he was last week. Kind of just a process we've been doing with Brett for a while. So,
Coach, I suspect there are a lot of challenges in the course of the year. Having two guys named AJ and two guys named CJ, where does that rank in your challenges this year?
It's up there, I call Reeves, I call him Reeve. So that's I compartmentalize that one. I don't have to deal with that. Then CJ Avery, I go CJ. And then the other two is the AJs. One's on offense, one's on defense, and they don't quite look similar, so I'm able to figure that out. but it's pretty cool.
Is there a particular coach or teacher, family member that inspired you when you were younger that you're thinking back fondly on as you prepare for this weekend?
Hard to pick just one person, man. I've pulled from so many coaches and mentors throughout my years of playing, at younger levels to professional, and then obviously coaching. So, but one of the shout out to my JUCO coach JG Agater. And he taught me so much. Being a young kid from Canada going down to the States to play football. Wow, that was an experience. But he kind of just simplified everything for me there. So, he's usually one that jumps up early, but after that, man, been around some amazing coaches just throughout my football career, and credit's due to a ton of them. Thanks, guys.